Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we are making stewed saltfish. Doesn't that look good? So to get started, we are going to put our saltfish to boil. If you don't know what saltfish is, it can be found in international markets. It's also called bacalao. It's called salted codfish or salted pollock fish. So we want to make sure that we boil the fish in order to get all that extra salt out of it. This is a 12-ounce bag of salted fish. Once you open the bag, you're going to take it out and rinse it off thoroughly, and then just put it in a pot of water. Make sure that it's fully covered and allow it to boil. This is my third time boiling this saltfish because the salt is very deeply embedded into the flesh of the fish. We want to make sure that we boil it enough so that way our dish is not going to be too salty. Once you boil it like once or twice, you can kind of like pick off a piece of the fish and see how it tastes. If enough salt has come out for you, then you can stop, but I just felt that it needed to boil a third time. And I'm also boiling it with about 2 tablespoons of vinegar. That helps to extract some of the extra salt out of the fish. Once our fish is finished boiling, we're just going to drain it off and have it sit to the side, allow it to cool down a little bit while we prep the rest of the veggies and everything else for our meal. While our saltfish is boiling, we're going to move over to the side and prep our veggies for the meal. I'm just going to slice up 2 bell peppers. Today I'm using orange and yellow. If you have green or red, it's all the same. So we're just going to slice it up into maybe like 1/8 of an inch thickness. Just nice bite-sized slices. I'm also going to turn it in half and like cut it lengthwise in half. And then I have 2 small onions that we're just going to slice up also. You can use 1 medium or even 1 large size onion and just slice them up. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to get more videos, and please feel free to share with anyone who's interested in learning Caribbean and West African foods. Once we've drained our saltfish, like I said before, we just want to set it over to the side, allow it to cool down. And then in a skillet, we want to heat up about 2 tablespoons of olive oil I'm using. If you have regular canola or corn oil, that's fine too. You want to heat up about 2 tablespoons of oil and start to saute your onions. Once they have started to break down and kind of turning translucent, then we're going to add in our bell peppers. Allow that also to saute and start to break down. We don't want the stove too high. Like a medium heat is good because we don't want it to fry, but we just want it to kind of cook and soften up. So over to the side, I had some lima beans cooking in my pressure cooker, my little Instapot. I used half a bag of lima beans and I pressure cooked it for about 7 minutes. It was a bit too much because the lima beans kind of broke down. So if you're going to use your Instapot, I would say cook it for about 4 minutes, pressure cook it. You can also feel free to use 1 15-ounce tin of lima beans. So once we're gonna move back over to the stove, once our everything is kind of like broken down and sauteed enough or whatnot, we're going to add our seasonings to the pot. We're just going to add some black pepper and some thyme. And I'm adding about 2 teaspoons of thyme and about 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I don't really measure things out. I kind of eyeball it. But nonetheless, we're just going to add that to our pot, and then we're going to add in our saltfish, which has already cooled down, over to the side. Once we put that in there, I'm going to start breaking it down with 2 forks. And the reason I'm using forks is because I kind of want it to be shredded, but I still want chunks that are big enough that you can taste it in the food. I don't want it to completely disappear. like when we're making saltfish bulljol. So once we're done with this, you want to taste the meal, make sure that it has enough salt, and then we're also going to add our lima beans into the pot. We're going to add all of that. I'm adding it with a slotted spoon so I can measure out how much water and liquid I'm adding in. And then I'm also going to add about 2 to 3 pot spoonfuls of the water that the lima beans cooked in. If you need more liquid, feel free to add like regular distilled water, or you can add the rest of the water from the lima beans, but because mine has broken down, it's very starchy and it will make your gravy kind of thick from the starch and the carbs from in the lima beans, okay? But nonetheless, again, make sure that you taste your pot. If you want it to be a little bit spicy, go ahead and add some more seasonings. Mine could have used a little bit more salt, so I'm going in with my Slap Your Mama seasoning. You can feel free to use some adobo or Szechuan, any type of seasoning salt. And then here we have it, guys. This is our finished meal. We are eating tonight our stewed saltfish over some white rice. You can feel free to eat it with some boiled potatoes, some cassava, even some boiled green bananas. I hope that you guys try this recipe. Let me know in the comments how you like it, and I'll see you back for the next meal.